Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Maista. I am a game developer on the Roblox platform, and today I am going to share with you my journey of becoming a Roblox developer from start to finish, which spans over like 11 years. So I think I'm just gonna get right into it. When I first started on Roblox, I was not a game developer. It was 2011 and I was really bored because I was homeschooled. I didn't have much to do during the day and I wanted to make some friends. So I was looking at a bunch of online platforms. A few stood out to me, one of them being Roblox, just because I looked at it and it looked kind of cool. It was very physics-based, so I was like, might as well check it out. But I joined it one day, and some of the games that I started off playing were roleplay experiences where you could be anything you wanted and you could make friends that way, and also building experiences where you could hop into a game that was usually like a town and then you could build whatever you wanted in that town. It was also a way to roleplay with people, but again, it was a creative way to roleplay with people because you could build whatever you wanted and create your life. And another kind of game that I was into was like zombie games. I thought they were really cool, where you could just survive in an open world and try to avoid being eaten by a zombie. And that actually had me opening up Studio for the first time because I was really interested in just messing around with the mechanics of a zombie game. So I used the toolbox that's in Roblox Studio, and I kind of just like dropped in random beings into the world and I wanted to see if they worked, which they did. It was really cool. I love the toolbox. It was very useful when I first started out as a game developer. But then after that, I realized that that was a big challenge for me to make an entire zombie survival game because I didn't have really any knowledge in programming or building or anything like that besides the building that I did in Roblox experiences themselves. And then also I, on the side, messed around with this platform called Scratch where you could do visual coding and create games that way, which was really fun, but that's beside the point. But after a while that I was playing like building games, there was this one that I particularly liked, but the developer of that game kind of stopped working on it, so I was like, the only solution now is to try to make this game myself so that I could keep playing with my friends. So I opened up Roblox Studio for the second time and I decided that I was going to make a building game. And this was pretty easy because you were really just dropping in a bunch of unlocked parts and you dropped in building tools that already existed in the toolbox, and you also just plopped in like random buildings that you found in the toolbox as well, so players could build inside of those buildings, and it ended up being really cool. I got 100 players in it at once because I had invited my friends into it and it kind of made it lift off. And at that time, building games weren't like super popular, so out of like all building games, that was pretty awesome to see mine get up to 100 players. And after a while, that just kind of started my journey of being a game developer. A lot of the people that played my game were big fans and they wanted to help me build the game myself, so they would spend hours with me in these places that were like, you used to be able to create these places that would save but live. So if you dropped in a bunch of building tools into these places and you let people build inside of them, all of that content would save in the live experience and you could open it up and edit it again, and you'd be able to utilize all of these building assets that you had built in the live experience, if that makes sense. So I kind of had like a team of builders that were just really passionate about the game that I made, and we kind of worked together to just improve the experience more and more by adding in new houses that players could build inside of. And the only way that I monetized this experience was through this admin script. There used to be a very popular method to like put monetization in your game, and that was basically where you would put a t-shirt up for sale and you'd link it in your place description, and then people could buy it and you could check in-game if somebody had that t-shirt, and if they did, then you could make some kind of functionality for that. So what I did was I made it so that players could have admin abilities, which would basically allow them to troll other players in the game. You could also fly, you could teleport to people. So that was my early stages of trying to earn money on the Roblox platform. This was before you could actually do the developer exchange. At this time, all you were getting was Robux, which was enough for me because I was a kid and I wanted to play the game and buy my own accessories and buy stuff in other people's games. But then I had left the platform for a little while, and then I learned that you could start exchanging your Robux for cash. And at this point, I thought that was really cool because I had never really earned any money before. I was a kid, obviously. I think I was like 14 or 15 at the time when this had rolled out. Luckily, from the game that I had made, I had generated enough money to do the developer exchange for the first time. And I think at that point, I made like $100, and I thought that was insane because I had never made that much money before in my life. And I just ended up using that money to spend on getting a coffee every day while I continued to work on my game because I had a big addiction to caffeine at a young age. But yeah, that kind of opened my eyes, and I was very excited to continue being a game developer. So after that point, building games kind of fell off on the platform. Not a lot of people wanted to play them. So I had to kind of start learning how to do other things like script things myself, build things myself. I had a bunch of game ideas that I wanted to produce on the platform, but I just didn't have the coding knowledge at the time. And most of the time I would just go and bug other people that I knew, and they would kind of like assist me in learning how to code, and it would just be through like Roblox DMs. So I would like send them messages through that. Sometimes it would get filtered and it was really difficult to communicate with people. This was before Discord was a thing, but eventually that did become a thing, which made life way easier. And then I want to say when I turned 15 or so, I joined Twitter, which is now called X, and I noticed that there was a really big Roblox community, and I was really new to the developer space in general. I didn't have any friends besides like the 2 people on Roblox that I stalked around and tried to get them to teach me how to code. But eventually I joined Twitter and I tried to make a presence for myself on the platform. I started posting random buildings that I had created, particles that I would create, and I would just post random stuff and try to get people interested in the stuff that I was working on. Actually, at that time, I also used like a botting software so that I could automatically like anything Roblox related so that I could get people to notice me. And a few people noticed that I was using a bot and they're like, this girl is just a bot. It was fine. Eventually I stopped using that because it didn't really matter. But eventually one time I had posted something. I made like particles that kind of exploded and it looked really cool. And Roblox at the time had this stream where they would highlight Roblox developers from Twitter. And my first tweet that had gotten in there, I thought it was really cool. I started off my first development experience being recognized by the Roblox platform themselves and other creators, and I thought that was really cool. This was also a time where there was very few game developers that were women on the platform, and I think I only knew about 2 other women that were on the platform, if you know Beism and Evil Artist. I think that was all that I knew at the time, and then eventually a bunch more people came on the platform, like Arithia and all of that. So that was like the first time that I got recognized as a Roblox developer, and from that point I started to need to earn money because I was getting ready to go off to college and start my own life. And at this point, you know, beyond just like having Twitter clout, I wasn't getting anything out of Roblox development besides that, and obviously learning how to be a Roblox developer. So I started doing contract work for other developers that had found more success on the platform. And I did this through learning Blender and creating 3D models for other creators. And at this time, it generated a little bit of money. So I earned like, I want to say $1,000 a month at that time doing commission work, making 3D assets for people. And that was like the most money I had ever earned in my life, and it was really cool. So I kind of used that money to help me when I decided that I wanted to move out to California and go to college with a game design degree. Once I got into the college that I went to this college in San Jose, California, and I ended up realizing that I was doing all of this work in college when I already knew that I wanted to be a game developer. I already had the resources that I wanted to use to be able to be a Roblox developer, and I just felt like college was kind of more distracting than anything else. So I ended up dropping out of college after about a year, but I was able to take my knowledge and come up with a game idea and apply to this program on the Roblox campus, which was in San Mateo, California, where you could pitch a game idea and they would pay you to stay on their platform for a few months and you would go and produce your game. At that time, time, I once again decided to drop out of college, and I applied to this program on the Roblox campus where I could pitch a game idea, and I was able to work at Roblox for a duration of time to try to produce that game. And at the time, I had signed up for this opportunity with Evil Artist, who is a fantastic artist, and she helped me in building out our first game, which was a MOBA that was inspired by Heroes of the Storm. Unfortunately, I didn't really know what I was doing with that game. I had only played Heroes of the Storm a little bit, and I saw that there wasn't very many multiplayer online battle arenas on the platform, and I thought, hey, why not give it a shot? It was honestly way too overscoped, and it didn't end up doing well on the platform, and I think it's just because you didn't get that instant ability to play the game because you had to wait for a match to start and you had to wait for people to join you in that match. So it didn't end up working out very well, but it was still a very cool experience. And then once that internship was over, I did not find success with that game. I did not earn money with that game, so I ended up needing to figure something else out. So I decided to apply for the next internship once again, and this time I produced my droplets. This time I did it completely solo. I couldn't really find anybody that I wanted to join me in this project, and I thought it was a really great challenge for myself to be able to script a game, build the game design the game, just do it all myself. Honestly, wouldn't recommend that in every case because it takes a lot out of you to try to produce a game, and during that experience it was really draining for me. By the end where I released the game, after that I wanted to take a very long break because I was so burnt out from working on that game solo. Surprisingly though, it did have 5,000 players in it when I first launched it, which was really cool because I wasn't expecting that, and that's like I think the highest amount of players that I've ever gotten in an experience. Not every game developer has 100,000 players playing their game at all times, but that is definitely the dream that I hope to achieve one day. So after I had burnt out from doing that, I once again took a long period in between that where I just wasn't working. It wasn't very smart. Sometimes you just don't click in your head like, hey, maybe you should get a job while you're also doing game development so that you don't end up not being able to pay for things that you need to pay for. I don't know what was going through my brain, but somehow I didn't end up homeless, which was really great. And then came along my third internship at Roblox. I worked on another game called Mermaid Life. This time I had a larger team. I worked with 3 other people, and over those next 3 months we ended up building Mermaid Life the game on the Roblox platform in their 3-month internship. And this time I think we found some pretty good success just based off of the hype that we were receiving in the project. Like, we made it so that you had to be in a Roblox group, and that way you could actually play the experience while it was in development, and that group ended up getting 1 million+ group members, and I thought that was really cool. That was like the most success I've ever had with a group. We worked on that game for a while, we launched it. It also didn't do amazing, but it's kind of had its ups and downs over the years. Right now it's kind of having a down moment too, but it's just because I'm prioritizing other games that I'm working on, but that's way far in the future. So at this point I had launched Mermaid Life, and at this time the UGC program had also come out. And if you don't know what the UGC program is, it's basically where you can start publishing your own accessories for the Roblox avatar, and then people could buy your items. And at this time there was a very small group of people that were allowed to create and publish 3D assets. And through this I found my biggest success. It was actually insane how much money people spent on Roblox accessories. I was genuinely surprised once I released like 20 or so items how much money I was earning from that time. And I knew that this wasn't going to last forever. Obviously it didn't. As you can see, it's very hard these days to earn money as a UGC creator unless you are launching like hundreds and hundreds of items every day. So I'm not doing that anymore, but I did find a lot of success through that, and I knew that it wasn't going to last forever, so I needed to invest this money into into something that was going to be more sustainable long term. And this is when I decided to start my own company. I launched this company, I named it Full Flower Studio. Under this company, I put Mermaid Life the game and my droplets under this umbrella of the company. And I started hiring people to kind of help me upkeep and maintain these games, and also allowing me to continue working on experiences and learning as a game designer and game developer over the course of 4 years. And we haven't really made too many new games. We've mostly just focused on my droplets and Mermaid Life, and we had a few test games that we worked on, but none of those ever took off. So over the next 4 years, from 2020 to 2024, it was just us working on 2 projects, Mermaid Life and my droplets. And now that we are here today, what I'm focusing on still is my droplets, because I want to have it reach a state that I'm actually happy with instead of leaving it in the state that it's been in for the past 4 years. Sometimes you finally unburn out and you want to start working on things again. So yeah, that's kind of what happened there. Some advice that I guess I would have for those starting out is make a lot more games than I did, because I only really worked on 3 and they were larger projects, and I didn't really get to test out my knowledge and learn a lot from the games that I worked on. So if I could go back to the start of my company, I would definitely just have started working on more and more projects so that I didn't have to lose out on the opportunity to try out other things and try to make cooler games. But moving forward, I think that's what I want to focus on now. Yes, I'm working on my droplets, and yes, I want to work on Mermaid Life, but I also want to make smaller projects and really test the waters on the platform now that it has grown so much and changed so much over the last 11 years. But yeah, that's my story as a Roblox developer. It's been a long journey. It's been a fun journey. I wouldn't want it any other way. I'm so happy that I found this platform in 2011. I had no idea it was going to change my life so much. I'm just really grateful about all the opportunities that I've had being a game developer for Roblox. If you're thinking of becoming a Roblox developer, I would just say, like, everything has changed so much over the years. There's probably different ways that you should go about starting your journey as a Roblox developer, and I'll probably make more videos about that in the future. But for right now, I'm just sharing my experience over the years, and it's been great. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you stayed this long, please like it and subscribe and leave a comment if you want to see more things from me that are kind of like this, or if you want to see more devlogs, because I enjoy making those. Have a good day.